Welcome to the Two Ton Nerds. As always, my name is Max James, and today is day 13, but I'm also covering day 11 and 12 because today is October 13th, 2014 of the 31 Days of Fright Horror Movie Project, year 3, and the movie of these 3 days is Scream, Scream 2, and Scream 3. So, I've liked this trilogy a lot. I just rewatched them again for the first time in a very long time, and after rewatching them, I knew who the killer is and stuff like this, and I'm rewatching. I'm like, I should have picked on this, and picked up on this, and like, oh, that's so obviously the killer now. And I was like, oh, it's pretty funny. It's nice. I like seeing like what the stuff that I missed the first time around, or even the second or third time. So, I'm just going to jump right in and telling you what you need to know about these movies, and first up is the plot. The plot of these movies are very tongue-in-cheek. They're taking the rules from the horror movies, like the first one was predicated on, like, you can't have sex, you can't drink or do drugs, or stuff like that. Very old-school horror rules, but with a very tongue-in-cheek atmosphere, but still remaining scary and fun to watch. But it follows a killer going around killing high school students, and they're trying to solve who it is. Well, they're not really trying to solve who it is. They're just trying to survive while the police try to maintain the situation. And it's really fun because you have a great cast in this first movie. You got Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, you got David Arquette, and then you got Matthew Lillard, Jamie Kennedy, you got Rose McGowan. Who else is in there? I mean, it's a little bit of everyone. I mean, you even get surprises like you get Henry Winkler, and then you also get Wes Craven even makes a cameo in this movie. So it's a nice cast, and they all done pretty well. I really don't think there's anything that I don't like about this movie. It's a pretty well-rounded movie. But the gore effects. Oh, and there's Drew Barrymore in the infamous opening scene of Scream. But it's a pretty well-rounded cast, and they're all pretty well acted. And moving on to Scream 2, you got it follows Neve, Cindy Campbell from the survivors of the first movie to the college and having to deal with it again. And this time around, they do another tongue-in-cheek, but this time around it's sequel rules, and I like that. And that's where Jamie Kennedy's character comes into play. Randy, one of the survivors from the first movie. They do the sequel rundown of rules, and I love those scenes in these movies a lot when Randy, Jamie Kennedy's character, kind of runs through the horror movie rules for sequels and trilogies, and I like that. I like that a lot. But they're at college this time around for the plot, but they don't quite know who it is, and it's always pointing to some people, and it's red herrings and stuff like that. And it's a nice twist at the end when I first seen it. And then the third one follows Neve during the making of Stab 3, the book that Gail Weathers wrote about the events of what has occurred over the last couple of movies. And Cotton Weary, who's played by Liev Schreiber, he gets killed right off the bat, and that's what kind of brings everything back in the forefront again. And then it's just everything is just kind of boiling to the big reveal at the end of this movie that all the previous movies were, in fact, just something were all leading up to this, which I really liked. So, even the third one had some good actors in it. You got Jenny McCarthy, you got, who else? You got Patrick Warburton, Lance Henriksen, who else? You got even some cameos by Roger Corman. I mean, there's some people in this movie. You just have to look for them. And it's just, these 3 movies were great in plots, and they all kind of boiled up to something really big, and it was great. And I liked the big reveal at the end. I really did. Then the acting of three movies, all three horror movies, was great because what I really like about this trilogy is they brought each character back for each role. They didn't recast. That would just take away from the atmosphere from the movie at all, because you're like, you'll know this character should be played this by this person, and it's just kind of, that would definitely kill the movies a lot. Then the blood and guts, the blood has actually, for these three movies, was pretty good. I think, and I just noticed this like last night. I thought it tamed down the blood quite a bit. Like the first one was super bloody. The second one was like pretty bloody in some scenes, and then the last one was just kind of like, okay. I mean, I think they were more focused on the plot and scaring people, which I didn't mind, but there should have been at least more blood than it was in the last one. But what else is it? The atmosphere, I like the set dressings of everything. I mean, just everything the special effects was just really great for every movie. The ghost face was a really good killer. I mean, it's just like a nice symbol for these movies. So it's just a well-rounded trilogy. I know there's a fourth one, and I know there's a TV show in the making as of this recording. So I'll probably will check that the Scream TV show if it ever airs. That's really all I really gonna say. So I'm just gonna jump right into talking about my classification scale for each movie. The rundown is 1, run-of-the-mill horror. 2, best watch with the group. 3, more than average horror, but helps move the horror classic. Doesn't help move the horror genre forward. 4, helps move the horror genre forward. And 5, being a horror classic. Now, 5 is a horror. Number 1, Scream 1 is a horror classic. Scream 2, I think, helped move the horror genre forward in terms of sequels, because I liked what they did in terms of sequels. And honestly, in 3, I think it is just a run-of-the-mill. Not run-of-the-mill, just more than average horror, but adds nothing new to the horror genre. Even though they do the whole trilogy rundown. Like, if it is a trilogy, all bets are off and stuff like that. But I still think it's just more than average horror, but adds nothing new to the horror genre. But I think it's more than 3.5 just because of that scene with Randy in the third one. So it's almost puts the third one in the 4 category. So you got Scream 1 is a horror classic, obviously. 2, Scream 2, I think it's a 4, helps move the horror sequels forward. And Scream 3, I think it is a 3, just more than average horror, but adds nothing new to the horror genre. It's all directed by Wes Craven. You got the horror master Wes Craven. You got Freddy Krueger. You got I think he did Shocker, Scream, obviously. You got Last House on the Left. You got I think that he did The Hills Have Eyes. I'm always confused on that one for some reason. But anyways, great trilogy. I'm not going to do the 4th one just because I just like the 3 original. Even though I do like the 4th one, especially the ending of the movie, and because of her final line, I like her final line in the 4th one. Cindy Campbell's final line in the 4th one. So it's like, okay. But anyways, that's it. My name is Max James, and I'm gonna go geek out.